This episode is brought to you by Muntins Malts, a company that is passionate about providing premium malts to brewers worldwide. For over a century, Muntins has been a leading supplier of brewing and distilling malts, offering the finest British malted barley on the market. You can experience the difference Muntins offers by joining a recipe receiving tier of our Trub Club, because every kit that ships out now includes premium Muntins malt. You know, we've known the Muntins crew for a long time, and I can tell you, friend, you're going to love brewing with their grains. Ask your local supply shop to carry Muntins malts, or homebrewers can join our Trub Club at homebrewhappyhour.com/club, be a part of the community, and come brew with us. Thank you, Muntins, for supporting our efforts and homebrewers worldwide. Today's show is brought to you by Hopsdirect.com. Grown in the esteemed Yakima Valley on the Pewterball family farm, Hopsdirect.com offers the widest variety of hops available online at incredibly competitive pricing. It's simple. They grow hops, they sell hops, and they ship hops straight from their family-owned farm to your doorstep. Producing the highest quality hops is Hopsdirect.com's passion, and they're proud to be an independent grower in the craft beer industry. Go to Hopsdirect.com right now and get what you need to make your brew day better. That's Hopsdirect.com. Today's show is brought to you by Imperial Yeast. You hear us gushing over Imperial Yeast all the time, and that's because their yeast performs for us in every batch that we brew. Imperial Yeast is adored by commercial breweries and home brewers alike. Their pitch-right pouches are jam-packed with over 200 billion fresh yeast cells, guaranteed to deliver flawless, fast fermentations every time. Imperial Yeast strains are grown by a team of pro brewers and home brewers who live to help other brewers learn more and ferment better. Join any recipe receiving tier of our Trub Club and get a free upgrade to premium Imperial Yeast with every recipe kit that ships out to you. Learn more at homebrewhappyhour.com/club and come brew with us.
Entertaining shows with content that spreads information and sparks discourse throughout the community. This is the Pearl Media Network.
Brewing with older hops, detecting infection in my fermenting bucket, and dissolving minerals for making Topo Chico. This is Homebrew Happy Hour, episode 399. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. This is the show where we supply the answers to your homebrewing questions and discuss all things related to craft beer. And if you, my friend, have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, you could email me, joshua@homebrewhappyhour.com, or even better, call in your question to 325-305-6107. Leave a voicemail question. You can do feedback, but preferably a question. I'll play it on a future episode, and you'll get yourself a $25 gift card to kegconnection.com. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Stubing, joined as always by the Director of Operations at cmbecker.com down there, Mr. James Carlson, as well as the President and Chief Keg Washer of kegconnection.com right over there, Mr. Todd Burns. Gentlemen, how is it going?
It's going fantastic.
It's going fantastic. Yeah. It is going fantastic. Can we talk about your meeting today? I think it's exciting news, and I'd like to give a foreshadowing of maybe some future content we're going to have on the channel, if that's okay. Like, just talking about installs, like the draft install.
Oh yeah, well, I met with three people today about installs. One by phone, one in person, and another one going to have in person this afternoon. So we're working on a lot more installs, and we started doing installs in the area, really in Texas, and it's what I'm trying to do right now is do more photographs and document it better when we do an install. So it's exciting that if we get this latest one, it's a pretty big. It'll be a pretty decent brewery, and I can't talk a lot about what their plans are and everything.
Right.
It'll be a good sized brewery. It's going to have quite a few taps. I think they're going to have 16 taps, and it'll be a really nice tower and setup, and I think it'll look really nice. I'm looking forward to showcasing it at some point.
I was going to say, I didn't want to get into the nitty gritty as much as how excited I am about the prospect of y'all doing more installs. More seeing Becker faucets out in the wild is always nice.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
And
all these are using CM Becker faucets. So
and it's flattering, in my opinion, how and I won't say like how in demand, as much as when people see them in action, they become believers. Yeah. That's what I mean. Oh, yeah. It's very flattering.
I believe all three of these will be the V10s.
Oh, no kidding.
Not absolutely positive, but I think they'll all be V10s, because that's kind of that's our best faucet when you're doing a commercial application, a bar. It's just, they're workhorses. I mean, James could tell you that he's gotten calls from people that are like, hey, I think I need to replace my V10 faucets. And he's like, why do you need to replace them? I mean, because we've had them for 12 years. And he's like, no, you need a few dollars worth of O-rings.
Who was that? I would say, not Great Nation. Who was that? It was
Great Divide.
Great Divide. Thank you.
Is who called me.
That's right.
And I was like, they was like, James, we need to order 30 faucets. And I'm like, yeah. And she next word was out of her mouth. Yeah, because these V10s are getting old. And I was like, that's when you're like, well, you got one, each guy on your shoulder, one guy's selling the faucets, and the other one's like, no, don't do it. So long story short, we sold them rebuild kits for all 30 for less than what 2 faucets would have cost them.
James is a good guy. And really, though, too, Todd would have done the same.
Right, Todd?
Yeah.
Todd would have done the same thing.
Not always. He can be very difficult as well. I'm joking.
I would have been on.
I know what I am. I definitely am that.
I would have been on your shoulder, James, being like, "Sell them more, sell them more." But
it was so tempting. But I was
Josh is never any trouble at all. So,
okay, now the homebrew lying hour. Anyway,
one of the things that was kind of cool about this, the people I met with today, I didn't actually meet with a brewer, but they said that he's going to be doing a lot of activities with homebrewers. So he's going to have homebrewers come in and brew, and then hopefully they'll actually, like once a quarter, they'll have a homebrew recipe come up that homebrewers come up with that they'll put on tap after they win like a contest. That's kind of cool.
And I had said we'll get this person on the show, but now it's contingent on whether or not they use us for the installation.
No, they will. They will.
Yeah.
It depends. Hey, you're going to buy all the top shelf. You understand me? You're going to buy that if you want to be on this show. This show mates and breaks careers, buddy.
That's right. Yeah.
The dozens of people we entertain. Other relevant small talk. I did want to ask you. It is about brewing and all that. It's related. I swear. Your pop's birthday is coming up, not this weekend, but the next. I have a keg of that grapefruit pale ale for you for sure. And then,
awesome. Really?
And I also I'll have a keg of ESB if you have room for it. I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I don't think it'll all get drank. Is that right?
Consumed.
Yeah. Consumed. And I think that, if we don't consume it all, then if y'all want to take it back, that's fine too. It'd be nice to have some variety, though.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you what you have, because James brewed for it as well. So, and I don't want to take up a tap that's going to have Pilsner on it. I don't know what you have on tap. You haven't kept your board up to date. And
no, I just have a hodgepodge. In fact, I had one of your stouts the other day.
No way.
Stout.
Breakfast
it was
stout?
Really good. I had one like last night. I had just a 4-ounce glass because it's kind of strong. So I do have to tell you all a quick story since you brought that up. I bought these Belgian beers, and they're like really hoppy Belgian beers, and they were on close out at Specs, and so they have a Belgian yeast and they're hoppy, real citrusy, like they're actually using American hops, and they're fantastic. I mean, they're so good, and so I actually bought 2 more 4-packs today because I had them on clearance for $5.99, and they're like $18 normally. So anyway, I had one last night, and I'm like, I'd already had one beer, and I had this one, and I was sitting there going, and I look on the bottle, it's 9.5% alcohol.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah, I did not. I mean, it was just
It was a quad.
What kind of?
I'll if I get a chance, I'll go grab. I've got some. I'll grab it and show y'all.
Yeah, you can show us. Yeah, absolutely. Let's put that on the board for craft beer roulette because you might enjoy it, but I will not.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just had it on my mind like Naked Man.
Like,
sorry, I couldn't help noticing your shirt.
Yeah. Oh, hey, take it easy. Don't change the subject. It's Chio no Fuji. He's not naked. He's the Yokozuna.
Oh, the way you were sitting, you looked like you just had a naked man on your shirt.
Yeah. Well, that's really I do drive a Subaru. I tell people frequently I don't tint the windows so that y'all know I'm not a middle-aged lesbian driving the Forester, but. In 2024,
can we say that on the podcast?
I just say that. Yeah, absolutely. I listen to Melissa Etheridge. I can say whatever I want, pal. I drive a Subaru. I'll put a Lilith Fair sticker on that baby. I don't care. I did want to say too, also relevant small talk to the show. We always get asked, we've had the same 3 stapled sponsors for a very long time. We're super grateful for, obviously, Muntins, Hopsdirect.com, and Imperial. I got big news. We're not actually going with them. A Chinese manufacturer emailed me. They want to sponsor the show for a month in exchange for their product, which is body groomers. I don't know if y'all are on board, but obviously they follow me on Instagram because I got the email and I was like,
"Oh, you think they'll be able to take some weight off, or how does that work?"
I was dying laughing. First off, the retail value of their body groomer is like $70. Come on, guys, we're cheap. We're not that cheap, but I was like, "Oh, they'll give us 3 body groomers to sponsor the show for a month."
Well, I don't even know what a body groomer is.
So,
it's a shaver,
electric shaver, and it has a little handle that it can attach to so that you can do your own back. And I'll send y'all the email. Y'all don't
if you decide you're going to do it, I'll just give mine to my brother.
Oh, good point. Hey, James, one of the few $5 bets I ever won, Todd was like, no one's hairier than my brother. And I was like, dude,
I got suckered on.
The only reason I ended up winning, though, I think he might have had me beat literally the day before, Todd, like the week before.
Yeah, his wife shaved his whole back.
Yeah. So we take our shirts off and I'm a jungle. Oh yeah,
well, she's a saint. I don't think I could talk Julie into doing that.
My wife has mentioned on more than one occasion Josh getting in the hot tub, and she's like, it kind of freaks me out, all that hair floating on the top.
Dude, she tried to embarrass me, which you can't embarrass me. But years ago, we were swimming at your cousin's place, and I was swimming across and underwater, and she goes, Josh, when you're swimming, your hair is like a snake. It's doing this. And they all got a good laugh, and I was like, "Yeah, good observation, Liz. That's great."
Well, y'all talk. I'll be right back.
Yeah, as he goes away, I'll get through some of the other relevant small talk, guys. Literally, it is your last call if you want to. Oh, wrong slide. There we go. Alt-Pokal 2024, the Altbier World Championships. Registration ends tomorrow, September the 6th. Yeah, we're recording it on the 4th, and then we publish on the 5th. Yeah, the 6th. So Friday of this week, it is over. We have a little more than half have signed up, but not everyone is paid. So I don't know how many we're going to have, James, for sure. It's going to work. We're going to have a good time. If it shortens by a day or two, no biggie. But either way, Alt-Pokal.com, ALTPOKAL.com, or just go to homebrewhappyhour.com and click on Alt-Pokal at the top. All the rules, registration info, all that will be on that page. It is going to be held tentatively right now, the 24th through the 26th. And I only say tentatively because there is a chance it'll be shortened. So it might either be, instead of Thursday the 24th, it might just be the 25th and 26th, or maybe it's just the 24th and 25th. We're going to figure it out. But either way, late October, brew it now, cold condition it now. Alt-Pokal 2024, last call. Also I didn't do a Brew Day Live thing, but for this month, now that it is September officially, the beer, I don't know if you guys remember when we came up with this on the list. I'm excited for it. It is the dark German lager, a Schwarzbier. That is what we're brewing for the patreon.com/homebrew happy hour Trub Club. Thank you to our sponsors, Muntins Malt, Hopsdirect.com, and of course, Imperial Yeast. I don't know if you guys remember us coming up with it, but the idea being, we haven't done a lager in a while. I think the pressure lager was the last one we did. And we're also finding more of our specific Trub Club members, people who get recipes. There's like 60 some odd of them between the every month and the every other month. a lot of them are pressure fermenting, James, and they're pressure fermenting in kegs. They're pressure fermenting in Firmzillas. They're pressure fermenting in much more expensive solutions like the Spike Conicals and whatnot. I think it's time we introduce this again. And now, there may be some members who are like, no, I really don't have, if I'm going to do a lager, I want to do it traditionally, this or that. We'll work with you if you want to pause it for this month or whatever. But I really think they're going to love it, because what a perfect beer going into the fall season, right? You brew it in September, probably have it ready by late October, certainly ready by Thanksgiving. What a good Thanksgiving lager, in my opinion, to have on tap. Yeah. So the Schwartz beer, I don't know. I don't want to twist your arm too much. Can I get you to brew it, James, for this? Okay. I don't think actually the two of y'all, neither one of y'all have brewed an alt beer yet, right? That we talked about doing, which is fine.
Yeah, no,
I know. It's fine. It's fine.
Brewing them damn Pilsners.
You've been just brewing, yeah. The Schwartz beer, I think I looked at the ingredient stuff. We have enough for all of us to brew it. If you wanted to brew it as well, Mr. Burns.
I definitely would like to brew it.
Yeah,
to share. This is what I wanted to share with y'all, though. Look at that.
Yeah.
Triple hop Citra. So this is like the coup d'etat of beers that you guys would both hate.
Yeah.
It has
final boss.
A trifecta. It has triple hops, so it's very, very hoppy.
What?
It's really high in alcohol, and it's a Belgium yeast.
What?
Everything you love in beer, Joshua.
Astringent IPA. Is that what it's called? No, thank you.
I'll share one with you.
That is my only beef really with Belgian beers is the yeast. So, which obviously that's what makes it Belgian. But like that Belgian blonde you have bought frequently, is it Letty? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Like Lei. Lafay, whatever it is. Ugh. It's just the after finish in your nose. It just hangs out.
Like that phenolic.
It's just too astringent. Yeah, it's just I can't do it. I don't like it. Anyway, not last call, first call. It's the first time we're announcing it. If you want to hop on board the Schwartz beer train, and if you're concerned about your equipment and all that, hey, go to catconnection.com. Use promo code HHH. If you're in the Trub Club, actually, you get the people who are every month get 12% off their orders. They get a special unique discount code to each individual. The every other month people get 10% off. So you can get up to 10% off of your ultimate homebrew accessory kit, or just buy the specific stuff if you want to try fermenting in a keg. I really do think, not just being salesman Joshua, guys, I swear, I think this is the kit. If you've never tried pressure fermenting, if you don't have the opportunity for temperature control for a traditional lager, this is a good one to try. It's not a lot going on to mess up in regards to having to worry about. You just hit your temps during brew day. Make sure you have pressure during fermentation at room temp. I'm pretty confident you're going to end up with the beer that you're very happy with. And again, not much of a better style to enjoy during the holiday season and the fall coming up and all that. I think it's going to be a crowd pleaser. And watch, we're going to lose 50% of our Trub Club, and they'll be like, we don't want lagers. We would love for if more people got into lagers and gave me the feedback, more lagers, how much more?
Well, what if we did we've done it before. What if we gave people, if somebody just doesn't want to brew a lager, what if we give them another choice?
We could do that. Yeah. We don't have an official alternate. Yeah, I could look through the ingredient stuff. Absolutely. And we've done that before too. It's no secret, guys. I'm not saying, hey, we bend the knee at everybody, but we're very easygoing guys, and we're very fortunate that our sponsors support us in the way they do. So we're obviously able to accommodate, and we try to accommodate as frequently as we can. So yes, if you are absolutely against any given style, I've had people, if I can't, give them an alternative, we either double up on the next month, or they pause it for the month. Well, like I said, we're very flexible people. Sign up at patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. Come join us. Come brew with us. We appreciate everyone at every tier. And I mean that sincerely, because we could not do what we do without you guys. And then that's all I think I have for the small talk almost 20 minutes. If you were just fast forwarding because you're using the things there below, you missed a lot of good stuff. Okay. You missed a lot of good stuff. So we've got I've got 3 questions, but hey, all 3 are voicemails. We're starting to get more voicemails in. So our first question of the week, it is our buddy Troy from Mississippi. First though, the gong of questions. Our first voicemail, Troy from Mississippi. No, pardon me. I'm lying. Patrick from Maine.
Hey there, Homebrew Happy Hour crew. I was calling. I'm Patrick from Maine, by the way. I'm calling with a question about hop storage and usage. I was given a bunch of recipe kits that were stored at room temperature for like a year and a half. And those kits were complete, so they had like the hops and everything in there. Obviously, I know the yeast is no good. But I don't know if the hop pellets would be bad. I mean, it was house temperature, so we're talking 75, maybe 80 degrees here in the great northeast so we don't get super hot in our houses normally. So I don't know if they're bad or what. A friend of mine's home brewery thinks they'll probably be all right because, hey, what did the Germans do? That's his thought. But yeah, I was calling to get your take, see what you all thought about that. And of course, yours truly, she's a genius, wonderful, beautiful lady. Oh, wait, I was supposed to say nice things about Josh.
Yeah, we're not talking about spouses here, Patrick. What the heck is going on? Didn't even butter me up, and I still took his question. That is how bad I want voicemails, friends. But anyways, James, I'm going to throw it to you first because my anecdotal experience going upstairs and doing recipes, bagging hops and all that, the main thing I've learned from the signs Todd has put up and what y'all have told me is that temperature and oxygen is what's important. Keeping oxygen out of the hops and keeping them stored at cool, not necessarily at frozen. You can freeze hops, I guess, but a cool temp and away from oxygen. So we vacuum seal everything and all that, and that seems to prolong the life for a very, very long time. What do you think about Patrick's hops that have been stored at room temp without necessarily knowing other details, such as how were they stored and all that?
Well, I would say this, that I actually went on and I did a little bit of research on this question. And I went to Hops Direct, and they had answered that question and said basically if you've kept it in a factory sealed, in other words, they purge it with nitrogen, vacuum seal it, and it's been put away cold, they recommend putting it in the freezer, that it's good for 5 years. They said that when you open it, you need to close it. It's about the oxygen more than anything else. And they said that you basically have a 6-month window. That being said, my personal opinion is if you're going after the unique aromatics and flavors of like a Citra or some of the more citrusy hops, then you're going to see that those fine notes degrade over time. But if you're just going to use a hop for bittering, I think he's probably all right. It just depends on what he's brewing and if he's trying to do a bunch of IPAs, it might be better just to replace the hops.
Right. Yeah. And Todd, when I open up some bags, because we get bags in from Hops Direct, and we've had bags before that. So we try to date everything when we open it, right? I have noticed, even with good hops, the freshest of hops have this like dark green, and also green smell in regards to like, yeah, they're fresh. And the ones that are still good, and I typically put just to the side for us to brew with, they get a little bit paler in color. I've not seen any hops since we've been doing Chub Club and I've been doing the kits. So it's almost 4 full years. I haven't seen any that are bad. What are signs of like bad hops? Would they be brown like other greens get when they go bad? Would they be rancid smelling? I've never actually experienced bad hops.
Well, they're the hop pellets. I don't know how much they would change color. I've never noticed that, but the smell is what I would probably go by more than anything. Do they smell good? If they smell good, I would use them.
Yeah. You've never noticed even the difference in greens? Like I'll go up there and show you, because I've put some to the side that are like
the same type.
The exact same type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
no, I haven't noticed.
Oh, I don't know if you've noticed it either then, James, but
I usually smell them. I just put them in my hand and smell them. And if they smell like that, what I think that type of hop should smell like, then I'm probably okay with them.
Just going around.
Taste them. I throw one in my mouth, chew on it, see how the.
Yeah.
I never do that.
I've never. He does.
I just made that
I know.
shit
Yeah.
up.
I was just saying, you do that with grains though, because when we go up there to inventory grains, you're like, son of a gun, look how much Crystal 120 we have. Opens it up, puts some in his mouth. I'm like, okay. I no lie though, I'm kind of digressing. When I do kits that include oats in them, I end up eating like a good half pound of dried oats.
Oh, yeah.
I just snack on. Yeah,
I love oats. I love chewing on every time we used to keep a big bin of oats up there, and every time I would open it, I'd have to take a bite.
Oh yeah, I put a little bit for you and a little bit for me, and then and I say that as I dance up there with my headphones on to the kids. I'm like, little for you, a little for me. Like it's I really do like because it's just oatmeal. That's that rolled, not rolled. What do we flaked oats, right? Isn't that just based as instant oatmeal? I believe it's pretty similar. Which also, by the way, continuing on my digression, y'all weren't kidding about the massive bag of rice hulls that I've seemingly not been able to find. And when I did see it, I was like, "How did I miss that? It's massive." And they weigh
like a cotton bale.
It really does. I guess it's because rice hulls weigh nothing. I brought home like 5 pounds worth, and it was a massive amount to bring home 5 pounds worth. I mean, in regards to volume, those things don't weigh anything. But back to the hops, like you had said, James, proper storage, vacuum seal in the freezer, 5 years. What is the oldest crop you can think of? Maybe this year or last year you brewed with success, or I mean, because we don't. Well, maybe you do freeze them here.
I'll tell you exactly.
Yeah.
The last beer that I brewed for Todd's dad's birthday party, I used Northern Brewer, and I think they were 2022.
And it's still great, right? It's still in good. Yeah.
I think it tastes all right.
Were they in a freezer here? Were they or were they just in the fridge?
They were in the cooler upstairs.
Yeah.
The hot fridge.
That's to say that, and that's. I'm going to make up a number. I was going to say that's like 40 something, right? What do you keep that walk-in at, Todd? I have no idea.
30.
Oh, it's like
I don't know.
Okay, so basically,
38.
I mean, so it's fridge temps. Okay, I don't know why I thought walk-ins were a little bit warmer. I didn't know that makes sense.
Well, they could be anywhere you want them.
Yeah, no, totally.
They could be frozen. I mean, people use them as freezers and they use them as coolers, and it just depends on where you set the temperature.
That's right. The one up there, is like fridge temp. So, but my main point being, if you're at least putting them in the fridge, guys, and they're properly sealed. Like when people get kits from us, I know there's a good chunk of people in our 50 tier and even higher tiers because they're getting bigger volume recipe kits and not just 5 gallon. We have a 10 gallon guy as well, or 15. Pardon me. We'd lost a 10 gallon guy. We gained a 15. Either way, a lot of these guys don't actually brew every month. They store it. But if you're doing proper storage, you're buying yourself time. The only thing, the liquid yeast in our kits obviously has the shortest shelf life if everything is properly stored. And even then, we've determined 4 months until you see any kind of breakdown, right, for the liquid yeast. But the hops, like James had said, to wrap up the question and not continue dragging it out just because I can, and we're only at the 28-minute mark. If you're properly stored, that's what matters. Now, last part of this to drag it out, Todd, if you're a consistent brewer, is it worth having a vacuum sealer at home? You have one at home. We have a bunch here at HQ. Is it worth?
I use my vacuum sealer for all kinds of things. I mean, so I love having a vacuum sealer.
James, would you agree? If you're a home brewer,
do you need one at home? If you're a home brewer, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on how you buy your hops and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have one if you're gonna. Yeah,
everybody should own one. Do you own one, Josh?
No, I don't.
How do you live your life without a vacuum sealer?
I go to headquarters and I vacuum seal.
Well, I mean, I use it for meat. When I hunt, when I butcher something, I always vacuum seal everything.
Between
I use it a lot.
Between you and my pop, y'all have all the toys that I need. I just take, if I had to use one, I would go to your place. And if I have to use something my dad has, I just go over there. When y'all are gone, which may or may not happen before I'm
going to
gone.
leave you my vacuum sealer.
Thank you. I've been trying to get into the Burns will for 16 and a half years. And
I'm putting, next time you're in town, remind me, I'll get you a little label and you just write your name on the bottom.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal. Can I also get that?
My dad's about to turn 90. And that's what my mom says it every time we're over there. I'll be like, oh, that's such a nice painting. Well, you need to write your name on the back of it. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to write my name on the back of it.
That's funny. That's funny. I will make sure people know. And I also would like the TV back for the menu board.
Oh yeah, it's yours.
Thank you. Yeah, the one I got tricked into buying. I would love that one back. Okay. Anyways, Patrick, thank you for the question. A reminder, if you're watching at youtube.com/homebrew happy hour and you have some feedback for any of the questions, leave them in the comments below. While you're there, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, all that good stuff. It helps us with the algorithm. If you have feedback for any question, you could call it in to 325-305-6107. If I play, you did yourself a $25 gift card, but I'd rather have a question like Patrick did and like our second question. Now, finally, I'm on the right track. It is Troy. Oh, wait, well, hold on a second. The gong of questions brings in question number 2, Troy from Mississippi.
Hey guys, Josh, Todd, James. It's just Troy over in Mississippi again. Got 2 things. First off, we need to know the dates of the Homebrew Happy Hour Homebrew Con next year, $29.95. I think that's too good to pass up. So just give us the dates, and we'll start booking the travel and making our way over there.
We need to talk to Scott about that.
If you're going to put it on, you might as well put it on by the best. But my question is this: a few months back, you guys helped me out with my question about why my beer turned out with a really bad Band-Aid taste. And, we pretty much figured out I had used tap water instead of using distilled or RO water. And I think I used the Camden tabs up to that, but I don't know. And it was bad. Well, I've brewed several beers since then. And, I've got the Anvil Foundry. I brew in that. Everything's been good. I've got 3 of those Anvil bucket fermenters, stainless steel, and they've been good. But I've noticed the last couple, it's not been as bad as that pale ale I think we did, or IPA, I forget what it was, that had the original Band-Aid taste. But I recently did the alt beer, and I did a Czech lager, and the same fermenter, and they both came out with another Band-Aid taste. Not as bad and offensive as the one I did, several months ago or last year, but it's definitely noticeable. And I am using distilled water, putting in my brewing salts and everything else. And, like I said, I make some really great beers. And then now it's the past couple, all in this same fermenter, the same bucket fermenter. I've got 3 of them, like I said, and it is coming out with this taste. So my question is, do you think it's possible I got an infection in this one bucket fermenter? I typically use the sand step the day of transferring to the fermenter from my Anvil Foundry, and I'll bump that water heater up to 140 degrees, fill that thing up with the hot water and the sand step, and then it sit for it could be, sometimes it's for the entire boil, sometimes it's 10 or 15 minutes. And never had a problem before, but just wondering if maybe I got something in there and maybe I need to be doing something more to get it out of this one fermenter. So let me know. Long-winded, but, since your Homebrew Con is next year and not this year, then in Comanche, then, you got to get all the words in ahead of time. So let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.
Troy, long-winded could be a title of my memoir. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, James.
Yeah.
Isn't that an interesting question?
Yeah.
That's the same one we have.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Yeah, we have an Anvil one, and James was convinced several years ago that it was infected. And tell the story, James. You know the story better than I do.
Yeah. We had, if you remember, I took the lid off and it had pellicles at the top. And I thought, well, I just didn't clean it good enough, or I didn't sanitize it enough, and did another batch of beer, same thing again. And this time I was like, I scrubbed the crap out of it and put sand step in it, and same thing. And I got to looking at the bottom where the cone is welded to the body. You could you could see the little holes where they welded it, but they didn't weld it completely. It didn't penetrate all the way through, and it was porous. And after I saw that, I could see that you couldn't grind it out, because not only would you have to grind it out, you'd have to grind it completely out, but you'd have to polish it too, because just the grind marks could harbor any kind of bacteria in that. So we put it upstairs and never used it since. So I would probably try using another fermenter, and then take a good look at that, especially where the bottom, the cone meets the sidewall, and just look at it real close, even if you have to use your phone or.
He said, you may not have caught it. He said he had 3 identical ones, and only one of them is doing it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is you have to look, you have to identify, make sure you don't have some really deep scratches, or if that particular fermenter, when they welded it together, it has that in the welds itself. It's kind of like pores in the welds. It's where it didn't penetrate, or sometimes it depends on how they weld it. Most of the time they're welding with gas, so they're not using a flux, but you see that more with a flux core MIG welder. And what happens is it creates some porosity in the weld as the bead's traveling. You're going too fast and it will create some bubbles. Uh-huh. Normally you chip that off, weld over it, but sometimes it can be just small enough to harbor enough bacteria where you may not get rid of that problem.
Not that the brand matters, but Todd, James's was an SS brew bucket, is what James had.
What's it, the SS?
Yeah.
Oh, SS.
Yeah. Same difference.
Oh,
You're
right. It is SS.
Same difference. I'm not throwing them under the bus. SS, you probably made great stuff.
But anything that's welded, stainless steel is suspect. The one thing about the spike fermenters that I like is the actual body of the fermenter is all pressed in one piece. So from what I've looked at, the only welds I see is when, the tri-clamp parts and the welds they look like they're TIG. They're stacking dimes on every part on the outside. And they make a really good weld. And I think that, Todd, don't they weld all that at the facility? They get the raw materials, like the basic shapes.
Yeah, I'm not absolutely sure, but I know they do a lot of welding there.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Whoever's welding
but,
them.
we have a TIG welder. I wonder if we could re-weld that and polish it out, and if that would make a difference, or if somebody could do that.
Or I can just take it and use it for kombucha.
You could probably do it.
Yeah, James.
I think we've all seen my welds.
You never seen my welds?
I don't know. That's some thin stainless. So
yeah,
I tried to weld on corny kegs. We had some popped corny kegs that I was playing with.
Yeah,
it is so hard to keep from burning through that because it's so thin.
For episode 400, I've never done this in my life. We could give me the welder and just go to town on stuff.
Let's do it. Yeah.
That'd be worth an episode to do.
After craft beer roulette, I'll get the welder. It'll be as scary. So James, when my pop and I were brewing for Brew Day Live last week, he got a little bit of hot water on him and was complaining. And it always reminds me of when we were doing the Browtag Brew Day and I opened the wrong valve, and the horrified look on your face as I'm not moving my hands out of the way from scalding wort. Like, you were I appreciate how concerned you were. My hands were fine. It turns out my brain's not smart enough to relay pain. And my hands weren't smart enough to blister up.
James was like freaking out, and I was just staring at it, thinking to myself, he really is an idiot. Look at him.
You were. James was like, Todd, we're about to have a serious problem, Todd. We really are about to have a serious problem. And nothing ever happened. I think I'm an Epps man. I'm bald like Professor Epps, and I'm dumb like whichever one's dumb. But anyway, but back to his question. So I agree with what you're saying. If that one is infected, is there saving it in regards? Because I vaguely remember Jonathan Etley, who's not with. What's the company? Is it National Chemicals? National Chemicals. He used to be with them, but he had made the claim. I've never put it to the test because I don't use Brettanomyces. I don't use any kind of sour yeast. Remember, though, he made the claim that it's the only consumer sanitizer for home brewers that will kill all those yeast. It'll get rid of it. It's the best iodophore, that is. His BTF iodophore is the only one that'll do it. Could you sanitize it out of this, or are you going to have to do more elbow grease involved type of labor?
I don't know. I mean, another thing to consider, and I think we addressed this back when he first told us about the issue with riff. Phenols can also be part of tap water. You can get those, but I don't know if you get them. He said it was subtle, so it's hard to tell. I don't have the palate that Todd does or you do, but
I don't. I burned it.
when you know, and it's very, very frustrating because if y'all remember a while back, Lorena came in and I had brewed a beer that had some pretty bad phenols in it, and she immediately hit it, and it was, I don't even remember what you told me now.
I wasn't there. I just remember you saying, "Oh my God, she nailed it," and then
she knew it immediately. And
I don't remember if he said, but I only see one well. I'm looking at a photo of their 7.5 gallon that they also make a 4. I don't know which one he has, but
yeah,
there's only one weld in the whole thing. Huh.
You're looking at the Anvil brew bucket?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, one thing I wanted to touch, and I'm looking at the transcript. I don't want to go back and replay it, but I believe my ears perked up a little when he talked about using hot water for sanitizer. You don't want that though, right? I thought you didn't want to use sanitizer. I'm not talking about cleanser. I thought you didn't.
Oh yeah, no, you want to use just room temperature water, not hot water.
Right. So could that be affecting his sanitation process by using hot water?
Yeah, I would just use it with regular room temperature water.
And again, Troy, I'm sorry if I'm misrepresenting. I didn't want to go back and play it. And we all know Google Transcript is worse than my speech impediment. Like it is terrible at how it organizes words and all that. So I'm looking at what I copied and pasted because I'm too lazy.
I mean, here's the problem: this is always the issue. I mean, yeah, I think you could probably sanitize it and get rid of it particularly if you mixed it really strong and you got it on there. The problem is, will it just come right back? I mean, if it's got a defect and it's going to come right, I mean, at some point, those things are they're not cheap, they're not super expensive. If you've had multiple batches and you're sure it's always the same bucket, is it worth spending, 8 hours brewing a batch of beer and risking it?
No, that's a good point. So then to wrap up Troy's question, Todd, what are your favorite ways or tips for cleaning stainless steel without causing pores and scratches?
Well, I mean, I don't think he caused it. I don't think he scratched it. Well, he could have, but I don't think he did. But I use Barkeeper's Friend a lot. It works really well. I use those scouring pads, but they're not, you don't ever want to use a steel one. They make those stainless steel ones, and we recommended those for our brewing system. I mean, we could put a link on there, they sell them everywhere though. They're a little ball and they're stainless steel, and they won't scratch. They work great. I mean, I use them for everything. I've never had any issues. I think,
we've linked to him before.
If he really wants to do something with that thing and kill everything, probably the easiest way to do that would just be to fill it full of water and just boil the crap out of it.
That's a great point. You're right. Instead of having to use or make another batch of sanitizer, use heat.
Boil it. I mean, just boil the water for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And I mean, I don't think anything could survive through that.
My hands, boss, could survive.
Your hands, except for your hands. The only living organism that could survive
realistically,
your hands.
That wort couldn't have been that hot because my hands, I mean, it had to have been in the cooling down process or something. Because if it was what does it take to get a real burn and stuff on your hands? 150? 170?
Well, I mean, it depends on the time, but yeah. 150, you're going to burn fast. It didn't take long at all.
Right. Yeah, that wort must have been like 145 or something, whatever the threshold is. I knew what it was. I was just playing it up. I don't remember if we were even filming that day. That would have been good footage. Anyways, Troy, thank you so much for submitting that question. A final reminder, guys, when you call and leave voicemail, like all of our questions did this week, and I take it on a future episode to 325-305-6107, you get yourself a $25 gift card to catconnection.com, and then I get content for the show. Win-win. I'm giving you Todd's money. Win-win-win-win. So with that being said, our third and final question for this week after the gong of questions, it's our buddy Jason from Illinois.
Hey guys, this is Jason in Southern Illinois. Got a question about your Topo Chico clone. Just tried my first batch out, watched the video, and was having some trouble, despite the advice, getting all of the minerals to dissolve. I pulled off probably a quart and a half of the RO water, heated it up quite a bit, did a lot of stirring, couldn't get it all to dissolve, added it into the full 5 gallons, stirred a bunch, heated it up, still couldn't get it all to dissolve. I was just curious how much heat or how much volume of water would be appropriate to get all those minerals dissolved in there. Thanks a bunch. Love the show. Keep up the good work, especially Josh. Hope to hear from you guys.
Thank you, Jason.
Josh just made it more than anybody, so I think he should answer.
Sure, I will. Absolutely. I do. I make it very frequently. Actually, it's such a first world problem. My pop and I committed this year to doing monthly Brew Day Lives. We've been enjoying it. The people who join us live are the best ever. We appreciate the interaction and all that. We're running into a problem. I have no more space for Topo Chico, so I had to take it out of my fridge after this last batch we did, because I forgot to bring beer up to you. Normally, I'd have
I was
room.
going to say, just bring the beer to me and you'll have room for Topo Chico.
I know. It's self-inflicted and a first world problem, but I did prior to the month of August. I was making it probably every other week. I don't know if y'all noticed, Todd, I was just taking a bag every trip. I would come up, I would just grab a bag, take it home. But I don't know what your average water heater in a residential home comes out at. I believe mine's like in the ballpark of 120. I might be off plus or minus 5. Is 120?
Yeah, 125, 120 to 130
okay.
Is pretty average.
Let's just say mine's 120. I do the Todd Burns method from the video, but I noticed instead of just, I think you used a whisk in the video. I'd have to actually go watch. But you had told me, because I had a similar issue to Jason, and I was using a spoon in a bowl. It was super cloudy, and I was like, yeah, that's going to be normal. This little part will be that cloudy. Pour it in, and then darn it, the first few pours were still very cloudy, and then it kind of normalized out. But then I was like, oh, maybe I got all the minerals out in the first, handful of pours. When I started using a whisk, I'm getting the water as hot as it will go. And in my garage here, I'm lucky that the running water my father-in-law helped me install is almost direct draw from the water heater. So when I turn it on hot, it's like 3 seconds until I have max temperature water or whatever it's coming out at. So I will do a little over a quart of that in a mixing bowl and pour the whole thing in there with the whisk. And I, keep maybe a minute straight, no lie, like I'm scrambling eggs with a vengeance. And, I actually put it into normal temperature, just whatever the flow of whatever it comes out at normal temp, just the cold side. And then I shake it like I'm force carbing it. And then I put it on gas. And that's what's been working for me for the last 6 batches or however many, a few months worth has been of batches. And that's really all it has been to it. I do carb it with a carb stone. I have no idea if that helps infuse the minerals more, but I do have one of those lids that we sell at Cat Connection. CatConnection.com. Use promo code HHH for 5% off your order. Use one of those lids that has the black line and the carb stone at the bottom, and I'm carbing at 40. So I don't know if those cold side procedures are helping, because I don't know science, because we've already established on the show I'm not very bright, but I will say all the things I've just described to y'all has made it a damn near perfect experience, where my first pour is not super cloudy, but it tastes like Topo Chico. And that 40 that I'm doing might be excess, but I really like a carbonic bite. I want Topo Chico, of all the, available consumer sparkling waters, like the Perrier, disgusting LaCroix, Topo Chico, Topo Chico has the biggest bite to it. So that's why I do it at 40. But that's all I've got, Todd. Oh, you're yawning.
No, sorry. Yeah, I do it a little different. I do boil it. So I do about 1.5 quarts, 2 quarts like he does. Put it in a pan. I bring it to a boil. I whisk it, and that's it. I just throw it in the keg and then fill the keg up, and that's it.
I didn't know you boiled it now, because in the video you didn't. You just.
I didn't.
No, in the video you just got it. I mean, you're very vague in the video.
I have to watch the video again. I think I boiled it.
No, in the video.
I think we need to do a Topo Chico pills.
Ooh, well, see, so people have been telling me, because my pop and I only use RO, and they're like, "Do you also not season your chicken? Do you also not?" I get the point, guys.
Why don't you?
They've suggested I do Topo Chico for every batch.
Why don't you, instead of doing Topo Chico, why don't you just carbonate RO water?
Because I did read that I drink way more water than I drink beer, boss, believe it or not. I did read straight RO water is not great for you if that's all you're drinking.
Oh, okay.
I saw.
But what about the taste? I'm talking about the taste. I know what you're. You know what I'm talking about.
Well,
you don't do it because it tastes better, just like it would with beer.
Maybe, I don't know, because I don't do it. You're right, but I could. You're right. Yes, I was about to try to make an excuse. No, you're right. It makes more sense.
One of the best lazy things you've ever said to me. I really appreciate it, because I thought about it later and it makes total sense. I was like, why didn't you use the Topo Chico clone when you made the sparkling water in my barn? And you're like, because the water at your house is well water, and it's already a mineral water. And I was like, that's the laziest thing. Wait a minute, though. I do love the water at my house. Like, it's my favorite water. I love it. My wife would drink nothing but bottled water for years, and I finally got her to. I did like a taste test without telling her, and she really liked the water and the rain. Anyway, she drinks nothing but the well water now.
I was asking, why wouldn't she?
I do have a really good sparkling water coming out of the tap, but you just did that because you're lazy. That's 100%. Not fair.
Oh, 100%. But yes, I don't ever remember being offered bottled water at your house. I've only, since you've lived there, had the tap water, and I've always thought you have exceptional tap water. I really do.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Like you could bottle it and sell it.
No, it's super. I agree, and I don't know what level your well is at.
I don't have that problem.
You're on city. Are you on a well?
I've got well water, which is horrible. And then I've got city water, which is worse.
Our city water is not bad. San Marcos city water is not bad, but the pH is off for brewing.
Well, there's so much chlorine in it. God, you can smell it coming out of it. I drank some when I was at the
pool.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
When I was at the rental property working, I drank a glass of tap water, and I could smell the chlorine in it while I was drinking it.
Yeah, the only water of the three of us that's worse, and it's not even the three of us, collectively the three of us, at the office, the tap water from Comanche is criminal.
Well, yeah,
it's criminal.
It's like even the city says you shouldn't drink it. Like
it's actually
we literally get a notice in the mail saying don't drink this city water, and I'm like, wait a minute, who's dropping the ball on this one?
It has a very unique smell, and it's gotten to the point where there's a Mexican restaurant we go to in town, which is wonderful and incredible, and I love it, especially it's affordable, and they make me an omelet any time of the day. It bothers Todd, makes me happy, win-win. Vilver will go pick up lunch sometimes, and I always tell him, you don't need to get me a tea, and I think he's trying to be nice. Like, I'll get you a tea. They use, obviously, the tap water, and I'm like, Vilver, yeah, you can have my tea. I'm not going to drink the tea. It tastes like what Lorena describes Fuggles to taste like, but more toxic. Toxic Fuggles. That's the name of my new punk band.
I like that.
Yeah. But I'm wrong. I'm not wrong, right? That's what it tastes like. It tastes like how she describes Fuggles. But anyway, to wrap up Jason's question, we will, I'll put the video below for other people to see. Todd's a believer in actually putting it in a pan and boiling it and then mixing it. I think that's a guaranteed way to make sure that they do dissolve. I do whatever is the hottest out of my thing. I do vigorously stir with the whisk for about a minute, maybe even longer, and then I mix it with normal. I don't know, what's the average temperature from a water spigot? 70 something or 78, 79? I'm making that up. But
unless you're brewing beer here and it's 90 degrees in the summer.
Shut up. Yours was that high coming out of the tap?
Yeah, the last batch of beer I brewed, I actually put a thermometer on it. It was 88 degrees.
That is so sad. That is, yeah. Oh, that's so hot. And I say that my dad's probably a comment below. I think the garage water coming out for this last brew day was 86. So like when we were cooling down with the counterflow, it was like, oh, well, we're not getting below 86 today. Thankfully, But yeah, the method that I described, if you just rewind a little bit, has been working great for me. And Todd can vouch for this. If it wasn't working for me, I wouldn't keep doing it because I'm just that lazy and a defeatist. You know, if I'm not good at something or producing decent results, I quit. I don't try harder. I quit. So thank you for calling in. That final reminder, guys, when you call a voicemail to 325-305-6107, and I do use it on a future episode, which I will because we need questions by voicemail, get yourself a $25 gift card like all three guest questions on our show this week. What a good episode. And guys,
well, it was. You did an excellent job this week.
You only because I got all voicemails. That's all I have to do. The bar is so low. I just have to get voicemails. Anyway, thank you, my friends, for your time. I will remember to bring you. So you do have room for his pills, an ESB, and a grapefruit pale. You have room for all three.
Yeah, and 10 more. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure because I haven't been up to date with what you have. Like I said,
I'm bringing 2 kegs.
I mean, I have 2 kegerators and I can do 8, 9, 10.
Then 11, update your board.
15,
update your
15.
Taplist.io. Taplist.io. They don't sponsor the show. Fantastic piece of software.
Yeah, I gotta go through and fix some things. I've had turned my CO2 off because I have a leak because I've been too lazy to find it. So now when I want a beer, I just turn my CO2 on it and charge everything and get a beer and turn it back off again. That's how lazy I am, my friend.
But you're going to do it before
I've been doing that for like 2 weeks now. Well, the main reason I did it is because we were out of CO2.
Yeah.
If anybody is local and they happen to listen, or not local and you want to drive down here, we once again have CO2 and are able to fill 5-pound bottles. So.
Woohoo! But get it resolved before the party. I don't want to have to open it every time. Or I'm just going to go to gin and soda.
I'm going to resolve. Everything will be working great for the party.
Wonderful. All right, well, guys, that's all I've got. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
I'll see you all next week.
Bye.
And that will do it for this episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. If you have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, you could go to homebrewhappyhour.com, click on that submit a question link at the top of the page, email Joshua@homebrewhappyhour, get yourself a $15 gift card, and you're like, oh, that's pretty good. But no, what you're going to do is call it in to 325-305-6107. I'll use your question, get yourself a $25 gift card to KegConnection.com, and thank you to our show sponsors like Munton's Malt, premium grains for a better brew day. If you aren't already brewing with Munton's, give them a try by joining the Trub Club at a recipe receiving level. For the best hops available online, give our friends at hopsdirect.com a visit and pick up what you need for your next brew day. Also, get a pack of Imperial yeast along with premium recipes again when you join the Trub Club at a recipe receiving tier. So go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour and come brew with us. On behalf of Todd Burns, James Carlson, and the Pearl Media Network, I'm Joshua Stubing. Thank you for listening.